What up? 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 What's going on, America? It's Rod. It's Don. It's Brooklyn Bears and Ball Sports Show. We are back. We are here, and the moment has arrived. It is Wild Card Weekend, everybody. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Of course, Don wouldn't know anything about this because he's not in the wild card. It's still Don's world. He's got the week off. He's chilling. He's going to sit back and relax and watch the rest of us sweat it out. But nevertheless, listen, we're going to talk about what we got to talk about because this is some good football we got here going on, guys. So listen, Wild Card Weekend. But before we get into all of this stuff, we're going to talk about coaching vacancies. We're going to get into all the crazy coaching carousel stuff that's been going on in the past 72 hours. It has been a crazy, crazy week. But we got some takes, and I think it's going to be interesting talk as we always try to make it real here at Brooklyn Bears and Ball Sports Show. So everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, listen, you know what to do. Click. We need you to share. We need you to like. We need you to go ahead and put some alphabets in that commentary section here for us, all right? Because we need to push this thing. We appreciate the movement, the algorithms. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the responses, everything that's going down. And shout out to my boy Don, my co-host, because he's been getting it in. He's been doing the work, man. He's like Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. He's doing all the work. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want that. I don't, please.
You don't want that? Well, hey,
anybody but him, man.
He makes a nice piece
money,
of change, so you know what I'm saying? He makes
money,
a piece of change, a piece of change. He's encouraged with the piece of change, but nevertheless,
if we can only encourage him to put some mascara on that mustache, that goatee.
Yeah, he's got to do something with that, man. He needs a beard. He needs
cut it off.
Cut it off. Just let it go.
But you can't have it. No, just cut it off.
It looks like it's faded. Like one side of the mustache is faded. I don't know if it's barber. I don't know. No one has caught that yet. It's been years, and it seems like he's not
surrounded by yes men.
Yeah.
Somebody should be like, yo, Stevie, whatever nickname.
Yeah, whatever you want to call him. Right.
It's over. Like,
yo, yes.
That mustache that goatee is trash. So
the goatee is trash, bro. Yeah, we not in the 90s anymore.
Or just darken it so it looks like something.
Yeah, you can't really tell what it is. I mean, it's so indecisive. You ever seen an indecisive mustache? Like it's just not decided whether it wants to grow out or wants to just, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But yeah, they got to work on that. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, though, you know, we got to also shout out to our boy SKRAPP. SKRAPP couldn't be with us today on the show due to a little conflict of scheduling there. So he couldn't be with us tonight. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you know, we hold the SKRAPP up. SKRAPP is sweating probably more than anybody this weekend. A lot of stuff going on there with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, but listen, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to get it in. Don, everything else is good with you, bro, before we set it off?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Just looking forward to sitting back and watching, you know, the teams play and kind of see where everything falls, man. But that's it. That's
what's up.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Okay, Wild Card Weekend. We got some interesting games. I think this is going to be, of course, I'll start off with this.
Right.
There will most certainly be an upset. One of these teams that we think is flying high, one of these teams that we think is all but in the bag to advance to the next round is going to get upset. I don't think it's going to be all chalk, like all the favorites are going to win. No, there's going to be an upset. And
hence why they call it wild card, right?
You all right?
Huh? No, I'm all right. You know,
because you're one of the favorites.
When you said that, I don't know. So I just kind of, you know, I don't know. I just was getting some flashback. A lot of PTSD going on in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But...
Right. So let's start with the first game.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you give your take first on Cleveland versus Houston. All right. Okay. I'll just for the record, Cleveland is a 1-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5. What do you say?
Well, listen, I think, look, this is a great matchup. And I like this. You got a really good defense in Cleveland, obviously, right? That's been pretty much maintaining their status as an elite. Well, I won't say elite because I got to be careful with these words because when I talk about the 2000 Ravens or the 04 Buccaneers or, you know, Doomsday Dallas or Steel Curtain, like those were elite defenses, right? So I don't want to disrespect those defenses, but they've been a very good defense, right, all year long. And so one of the things I think when you look at that defense versus this young, remarkable I mean, fun to watch quarterback in CJ Stroud. It has been something to see this kid do the things that he has done in his rookie year, not to mention the rookie coach. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans. I mean, for me personally, he's my vote for coach of the year. Just in what he did, what a rookie quarterback, and to see what they have already built. So based on those draft picks that they got from Cleveland, and hence the team that they got their picks from when they traded, obviously with Deshaun Watson, they were able to obviously build a team that they built through those picks and plus the picks that they had on their own. And they've done an amazing job building a nice squad so far. So, I feel in a lot of ways they're playing kind of with house money to a degree because, they've exceeded expectation already. But then again, there's a piece of me that says, Don, that the Texans can win this game, right? And we know that Flacco has been playing well. Flacco has been he looks like he's playing better now at this age than he was when he was in his prime, if you ask me, in some aspects, because just the way he's looking and doing a remarkable job. But the thing is this, Ward got hurt, so he's questionable for this game. He got hurt in practice this week. I think he will play, but he is questionable. He is on the injury report, and there was some concern there because they play, being Cleveland, great man-to-man coverage, and that's the thing that CJ Stroud, like most young quarterbacks do, same thing with Love and some of the younger quarterbacks, they struggle with man-to-man coverage. They're not, his numbers do not fare well against man coverage, but nevertheless, I think, running the ball, trying to lighten things up. But I also feel with the Texans, you got to just play your game and do what it is that got you here. And I think when you look at this team, I actually like the Texans in this game. Although Flacco's got the experience, Flacco's got everything that, he needs. But I feel, and I know I'm freezing here a little bit, guys. Can y'all still hear me out there?
Yes, we can hear you, Rod.
Yeah, okay. All right, gotcha. So I think one of the things that's going to be really, really interesting with this is that when you look at what they're going to bring, I think you got to look at a guy like Cooper. Cooper has to be the guy that's got to step up. We got to really see him make and be that player that we think he can be. We know he can be, and that number one, which he is at least in that team, and he's got to be able to set it up and get it going. But I like Houston in this though, D, and I'm really excited about watching this game. Stroud is going to be he's a good ball player, like him.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I think Cleveland is a good story. It's a story of resilience. They had a lot of key injuries, and they were still able to keep it moving. They kept, playing, and their $200 million plus guaranteed quarterback goes down, and then Flacco. They get Flacco off the couch, and he starts to perform. He's been clutch. He's been, but I think it's because the expectation. What they were expecting was him not to lose games, right?
Right.
With Deshaun Watson, with some of these bigger name, younger quarterbacks, you're looking for them to be the reason that they win. And they're not they're not requiring Flacco to be the reason they win. Just don't be the reason we lose. And so I think Flacco has experience in the playoffs. I mean, he's a Super Bowl MVP. So coming into it, hey, all right, you want to give me a couple of million and, try it out? And the team took to him, and, the results speak for itself because the defense was already an elite defense, right? So all you needed was a serviceable or better quarterback to kind of take them over the top. And I got to say, Flacco has answered the call. Yeah. So, but I think at the end of the day, the NFL, the fan base as a whole wants to promote offense, wants to promote excitement. Sure. And based on CJ Stroud's ability, he's a rookie, and he is playing phenomenal. I think it is more important for them to showcase the NFL's future because the NFL is smart enough to understand that the product that they put out is important for fan bases moving forward. Right. At the end of the day, Flacco can have this magic carpet ride into the playoffs and played well enough to get into the playoffs. But I think people want to see what the NFL has in store for them over the next years to come. And so I do think that Houston wins. And I just hope that the lights don't go out in Dallas the way your camera is going out. I just hope that. I hope the lights on Mike McCarthy and the Dallas defense don't go in and out like your camera.
I'm just prophetically
dealing with some technical difficulties, right?
The lights will go out, for the Packers. You know what I'm saying? And that's how quick this game should be. You know what I'm saying? In and out.
Well,
but we'll see. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
I think CJ Stroud, I think they have enough of a balanced offense. Now, obviously, they're missing one of their explosive rookie weapons in Tank Dell, which I'm very, very high on.
Yeah, you love Tank Dell. Yeah.
I do. He's something special. I do think that they have enough on the outside, their run game, their tight end who was injured, but now he's back, Dalton Schultz. You know him well.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that they're going to get the W. Now, I don't think it's going to be an easy game, right?
No.
But I do like Houston to put up some points. I do think that they have explosive players. Noah Brown, Nico Collins. I think they have enough to really make it work. And so I like them. So I'm going to go with the score, Houston 28, Cleveland 17. What do you say?
You said, what was that score one more time?
What do you want? You want to pick your stuff, or you want to follow what I'm saying?
No. I wasn't sure. I didn't hear who you had. I heard the score, but I didn't hear the teams.
Houston,
I'm sorry.
28.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Cleveland 17.
Okay. Got you.
For the people that are watching, listen. Rod a lot of times gets my score. I typically go first, and then he takes his score, and he might deduct a point or two. But he always stays pretty close, except when we talk about Dallas.
Yeah. But I gotta say, D actually does very well with his scores and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he does a good job with that. But I do have Houston winning this too. And remember, Stroud, when they lost to Cleveland early in the year, Stroud wasn't playing, right? Because of the concussion. Will Anderson was out. Another Blake, what's his name? The linebacker was out. So they had some people missing that'll all be back for this game. So I like Houston in this game. But I think it's going to be a close game, though. I even though Cleveland's defense hasn't fared well on the road, but if Ward is playing, you got that man-to-man there still. I still think it's going to be. I think CJ is going to play well, but it'll be a struggle. He's not going to ball out. So I think I'm looking at a close one here in this game, and I got Houston winning this game 23-19.
Didn't I say he was just going to take a point off here and a point off there? That's ridiculous. Listen. Okay, cool. Let's move to the game that is on Peacock. Listen, this angers me.
Oh, my God. Forget about it, man.
This angers me. Now,
oh, my gosh.
Corey will be happy about it. So the majority of the world won't see this game and won't see what happens to Miami.
Right.
But listen, why is this game on Peacock?
Well, for $110 million that they paid for, and is Roger Goodell trying to, give them
pennies.
something, and it's peanuts.
Pennies to the NFL.
Yeah, that's
peanuts.
Pennies. This is what I'm trying to say. You took a playoff game, and you for $110 million, and the poor people. I don't know if you saw the. I'll say this real quick. I don't know if you saw the take that Mad Dog gave on First Take. He was kind of breaking it down. And, between you got these people in certain regions and the old school fans of Kansas City, you talk about a 75-year-old who's been a fan since the Lynn Dawson days. They won't even watch that game, right? They're going to need their grandchildren to come over and help them find Peacock, for crying out loud.
But I'll say this.
They're going to miss it. Yeah.
Chiefs have had a lot of success recently, right? So those 75-year-olds should just pipe down and enjoy. If they don't get a chance to see it on regular TV, pipe down. I'm just saying, it's bad in general for all fans. Cry me a river on Chief fans not being, because you have been relevant and the team to beat.
Oh yeah,
5 AFC championship.
Oh yeah, so you got 2 chips.
You've seen it. You haven't gone. Their drought is over, right? They've
no
had
question.
an opportunity to experience it in their lifetime, the
No
success
question.
of the Kansas City Chiefs. But what I'm saying is this is a high-profile game. If I would choose a game, put Cleveland and Houston on Peacock. If you just have to have a game, that's a peacockish game. Cleveland and Houston is a peacockish game. Not Dolphins and the Chiefs.
No.
Not the Super Bowl champs versus the Dolphins. Like that's a bet.
Well, that was the thing. They couldn't do that. And see what it is. Goodell wanted to give Peacock, in order for Peacock to take a game, they need a game that's competitive, right? Because you could have given them the Steelers in Buffalo, if anything, right? Could have given them that game. But Peacock wasn't going to go for that. They needed somebody, and Goodell wanted to give them a competitive game because he wants their business, and so he threw Mahomes at them and gave them Mahomes. But it was bad. That's bad.
Yeah. So Kansas City is 4.5 point favorites. The over/under is 43.5.
Yeah.
Now I'll say this.
Okay.
The Dolphins have a chance to win this game. I'm going to start off with that. They have a very good chance to win this game.
Okay.
They just have to do one thing: run the ball. If they run the ball, and take their shots with Tyreek, because I don't know if Waddle is playing. It does look like Mostert is playing, but I do think they need to utilize.
Questionable.
Even if I know Achane is their home run hitter. Mostert has had a phenomenal season. Utilize both of them. Bring both of them in. Put one out as another receiver, or spread them out. They're going to have to be creative because their team is definitely at a deficit defensively with all the injuries that they sustained.
Correct.
The cold weather is a toss-up. This might be there are two games that I have gone back and forth with, thinking who is going to be the upset, because I do predict an upset. And honestly, I'm leaning towards the Chiefs losing this game.
Wow.
I know as much as the Dolphins are a fraud, they are a fraud.
Yeah.
I do think they have the potential to get through this game with a W. As I looked at the whole slate of games and the players, I'm talking about upset, because the other game that is a slam dunk for me is Detroit is going to beat the Rams. And it's not going to be close. But we'll get to that. It's not going to be close.
Wow. I don't know.
I would say that they're going to have to depend on the run. They're going to have to run the ball. The coach, McDaniel, don't get cute. You don't have the personnel. You don't have a surplus of 25 mile per hour running receivers at your disposal. You're going to have to be smart about it. Now, next round, if you get through the Chiefs, as I predict, you're going to get your head pounded. But the point is, this game is vitally important. Tua's going to have to play really well because his money is on the line. Because he hasn't gotten paid. Remember, a lot of the other quarterbacks in his class got the pay, got the bag. He hasn't. He's waiting for it.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to win a playoff game. Now, mind you, during the regular season, 1-5 against playoff teams or teams with winning records, he's going to have to do something in the playoffs to justify them, number one, moving forward with him or giving him a payday. What do you say?
No, now I know you're gonna get on me for saying this, but what up, James? What's going on, sir? Good to have you in the room again, man. We appreciate you, bro. I actually believe that Miami too can win this game. I think both teams have to run the ball, though. I really do. You're gonna see a lot of Pacheco. They're gonna run and try to run the ball. Now, Miami actually only gives up 97 yards on the ground, which is very good. But again, that was prior to these injuries that they've had, right? They're getting some guys back. Howard, I believe, is going to play. He's questionable, but he's from what I'm hearing, he's going to play. And so they got a chance to get some success against Miami defensively, but so does the Dolphins. To your point, you got to run Mostert, you got to run Achane, and run the ball. Don't get cute. Don't outsmart yourself. Don't try to be the smartest guy in the room. Stick to when you have weather conditions like this, you got to stick to the fundamentals of football. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't have the time to get those kind of plays developed and everything. Because when you got cold weather, who's impacted? The offense. So the offense don't have the ability to get tricky and do long developing plays. You got to run the ball. You got to be able to pound and ground. And Miami can do that. And I actually like Miami in this game only because Kansas City, again, we know the issues with their receivers. This team is not dominant. They're not the Chiefs of the last 6 years. And I really think that this is, and even playing at home really doesn't give. Now, again, the weather, but the weather's going to affect both teams. They ain't like an 80-degree sunshine is going to only follow the Chiefs along the field. You know what I'm saying? And all the cold is going to just hit Miami. You know what I mean? They're going to be impacted too. And so I really do. I think Miami, believe it or not, can do that. And here's the thing what I think we have a misnomer with Miami and cold weather. They do play in the AFC East. They play Buffalo. They play the Jets. They play New England. They're used to playing in the cold. Just because they live in Miami and play in Miami don't mean that they're not accustomed. It's not like they're in the AFC South somewhere. They play in cold weather. So guys can play in that temperature. They can, and I think they could do something. I still think, regardless of how Tua looks, though he's 0-4 and when temperatures are below, I think, 55 degrees, and he hasn't played well, 55% completion. But my thing is this, I still think Miami is going to sign him, and I think they still going to, because at the end of the day, D, he has played well, right? It's like another Dak situation. He's going to give you the numbers. He's going to play well. He's going to get you in the playoffs. He's going to make you competitive. Now you just pay him because you got to stay relevant in the regular season to even get to the playoffs. And then what other option do you have? What are you going to draft a quarterback? You're going to start all over?
It's a great quarterback draft. It is. It's a great class coming out.
Yeah, but they won't have those picks. They're probably at the bottom of the list as far as getting any of them quarterbacks. I mean, and I'm not familiar with how deep that class is, but what if you get a top quarterback that's maybe in the first 3 rounds that could be something you can develop? I mean, I don't know. They really would have to see something in someone to say, we're going to move off Tua and we're going to give this guy, or just give him his 5th-year option. So they still got another year. And I'm sure that they'll pick up his 5th-year option and play another year. So, I mean, they got choices there. But I think they're going to end up signing him. I think
if he wins against Kansas City in with this situation, the way it is, injuries, going on the road and win, then I think he's a shoo-in to get his paper. But if he loses, they'll probably do 5th-year option. They'll probably draft a quarterback because, remember, you have certain players that you're going to have to pay. There's going to be some big-ticket items, just like anything else. And if you're trying to, in free agency, kind of lure players to come there, you're going to have to pay them, right, to get them away from other teams. So the quarterback position, if he's cheap, affords you the opportunity to load everything around the quarterback and make the most of it. So I think
only the Niners can do that. Only the Niners can do that. I think you gotta. Tua has been a good quarterback for them. And here's the thing: what I'm seeing, you're not going to not pay a guy because he hasn't really had the playoff success, right? He didn't play in the playoffs last year, right, in Buffalo. He didn't play in that game. He's going to play here. And if they lose this game, Miami that is, but let's just say it's not because of Tua. Tua plays respectably in the game. I think you still got to go with him. I mean, you still need a quarterback at the end of the day, and that's the most important position. And unless you're the Niners that can get us a 10th round draft pick to all of a sudden just, ascend the way he did and play to the level he's playing at, which the Niners didn't expect him to do. I don't think that's not going to be the case with everything else. And I don't know if you can get another quarterback that you're going to at least get a guy. This Tua was in MVP discussions. I mean, crying out loud. So, I mean, he can't be that bad.
But, okay, so what was he in the discussion for? He was in the discussion, not necessarily for quarterback play, just for gaudy numbers. And if you have a receiver that is trying to approach and eclipse the 2,000-yard mark, is it really Tua? You have these receivers. You're surrounded with Mostert. You have who has what does he have? 17 touchdowns. He has something ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have Tyreek. You had Jalen Waddle. I mean, so it was more. I don't think it was Tua. Initially, when someone is balling out, I think that the 70-point game kind of put him on the map. Having two receivers with over 200 yards and throwing something like 7 touchdowns or something like that in the game, that puts you on the map. But I think if you really look at him and look at how he's played, you have to factor in how he's played against the competition that he would potentially have to face in either the AFC. How does he measure up against the top echelon of AFC quarterbacks? And then how would he fare moving forward? Even if he gets through them, how would he fare in a potential Super Bowl? So no, he wasn't really the MVP. I think he wasn't. Looked good starting off.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, that doesn't, being in the conversation doesn't guarantee or rubber stamp that you're going to get this ridiculous bag. I just
no. I agree with you there, but I think what I'm saying is like being in that discussion. In other words, Tua has proven, right? Because there was a time when Brian, the coach, the black coach there, Flores, Brian Flores, didn't believe in him. Remember, they was trying hard to get Deshaun Watson, right? They didn't believe that Tua was the answer, right?
Okay, and
Mike
that's
McDaniel
fair.
comes
Who's
in
better?
and right, but Deshaun Watson hasn't really. I mean, if you think about it, right? There's a lot of teams. I mean, yeah, I'm sure the Falcons would have probably benefited from him, but is he playing really well? Like he had maybe one good half of football since he's been there. You know what I mean? So Deshaun Watson definitely ain't the Deshaun Watson of old that he was in Houston. But what I'm saying is that really quickly that Tua has, with Mike McDaniels, he's evolved. He's gotten better, right? And even last year, he was balling until he caught the concussion, right? And they lost a lot of games, and it kind of obviously affected their season.
Until what?
Until he had the concussion last year. Last year.
He was last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
No. He was balling until they played the 49ers.
Oh, Lord.
We were at that game. No. Don't say they were balling.
No, you're right. No, but I'm saying, yeah, he was.
We're talking 2022, right?
But okay, let me put it. 2022. So, but what I'm saying is that Tua, I think, has shown enough to be a franchise quarterback, and I don't think you would. I don't think it would make sense for the Miami Brass to start with a new quarterback, a young, unproven third-round pick coming out, and you're going to replace him with Tua. That just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? You pick, if anything, you got the luxury of getting him for another year. You pick up his option and just let him play out another year, and then.
But what does that say to him? What does that say to him?
It says that they don't think he is, but I do think he is, and I'm saying that they're going to pay him. I don't think they're going to pick up the option. I think they're going to go ahead and negotiate his contract and give him a long-term deal.
Even if he loses.
Even if he loses, I think so. Yeah, even if he loses, I believe they will. Now, what that's going to look like, how much guaranteed money he'll get, how many years, how that contract will be structured. I think that's where you're going to have a lot of,
he might set back the quarterback market, because the quarterback market is moving forward. You think? We'll see. I just think he will. I mean, if he wins, if he wins, I think he will get the bag. I think if he loses, they'll probably give him they'll use his 5th-year option. They'll draft a quarterback this year, and we'll see what happens.
And then 2D, you got to keep in mind though too, all of that would not be even if they lose this game. But again, depending upon Tua's performance, but you still got to look at some things. Miami is coming in this game depleted defensively. Waddle is coming in.
That was the coach's decision. That was
right.
Self-inflicted.
So they're not going to hold that against Tua, is what I'm trying to say. Tua, you can't put any defeat that the Dolphins could potentially see all on the shoulders of Tua. I think if you're his agent, you're going to come back in there and say, now look, my guy did X, Y, and Z, but McDaniels decides to keep a guy in the game. Keep his whole defense starters out there, and he's down by 30 points with 6 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm trying to say? And now you go into,
Did your brother put you up to this?
No.
No, I want to know.
No way. No way.
Did he put you up to this?
No, not at all. Not listen. I'm gonna tell you the truth. The Dolphins, to me, I have no beef with them. We beat them in the 71 Super Bowl 6. Roger Staubach MVP, 24-10. We don't have. I mean, and we beat them the last 3 times we seen them, and they got us.
That's not accurate. That's not.
But what's not?
So how do you say the last 3 times we seen them and you lost this year?
I mean, well, no, I was finishing my sentence to say, except this last time they beat us, and then which was obviously
you got to watch him. You got to watch him.
Because
he'll try to slip stuff in. There's people fact checking us right now.
No, they are. They're definitely fact checking.
So you can't
question.
say,
well,
we beat
three
them 3
losses
times
they've taken before this last time. So no. But I don't. I mean, look, the Dolphins to me, nobody. You're a Cowboy, a real true Cowboy fan. Everybody in the NFC East you hate, and you hate the 49ers, you hate the Steelers. And that's
it's not about that. It's about just if we're being honest about quarterback play, and we don't determine if he gets the money or not.
No.
But is he, put it like this, is he top 5 in the AFC as quarterbacks? Let's know. I mean, what do you think?
No, he's not. But do you need, but think about it now.
Top 10?
In the AFC, I think so. In the AFC, I would probably.
We don't have time.
Top 10.
We don't have time.
We don't have time to break it down.
But I don't think he's top 10.
Be honest with yourself, right? Think about it though, D. A lot of these quarterbacks, if you look at the landscape of quarterbacks today, if we're just really honest, there's really only one good quarterback in the entire NFL. And that is Patrick Mahomes.
I don't agree.
I mean, everybody else is good. Everybody else can put up numbers. And that's all you need to be to be a franchise quarterback. To be a franchise quarterback nowadays, the bar has been dropped considerably. You ain't got to really be a Super Bowl quarterback to make $50 million a year. You don't need to be that. You don't need to be Peyton Manning or Brady or Breeze. You ain't got to be Young and Aikman of the 90s. You ain't even got to be Ben Roethlisberger. All you got to do is put up numbers and get your team into the playoffs, get some wins, and then we just let everybody just kind of shake it out from that point on. No one is head and shoulders above anybody except Patrick Mahomes. That's it. So in this market, in the way the standard is,
there's only one good quarterback in the NFL.
There's only one. Honestly, there's really only one legit, bona fide, what I would believe to be an elite quarterback, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Everybody else is really good, and they're stars, and they're franchise quarterbacks because
your brother did put you up to this. Your brother put you up to this.
No, not at all.
Because if they lose, he put you up to this.
No,
let's get a score.
Yeah, let's get a score. All right, let's get a score. Let's get a score. But I think the Chiefs, listen, I think the Dolphins could win this game, D, but I do think the Chiefs will win. But I do think the Dolphins can win this game. So I'm going to, that's what I said. That's what I said before. I said, nah, I know you're going to get upset because you feel I'm following your take. I believe that the Dolphins can win this game, but I don't think they will. But I do think they can. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that the Chiefs will win this game. I think it's going to be 16-10.
What the?
He said, what the?
Okay, so my upset pick of the week is the Dolphins. Dolphins are going to upset Kansas City.
Okay.
Score is going to be 21-17.
Okay.
21-17 Dolphins.
21-17 Dolphins. Okay, 21-17 Dolphins.
We spent a lot of time talking about them.
Yeah, we talk about
because your brother, it was.
You were looking
out for your brother and trying to cover his team. And tell Corey he could just be on the show. He don't gotta send you. I saw you switching through notes, and what did Corey say about? He was. Come on, man. Come on.
Oh man, you stupid! I promise you, no, none of my brother takes. I'll tell you.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
Steelers and Bills. Buffalo
is
9.5 point favorites, over under 34.5. So I'll say this. This is very, 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 very disrespectful. Very disrespectful to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
What's the spread on this?
9.5.
9.5. Oh,
and the over under is 34.5. Very disrespectful.
Why is that disrespectful? Why? I don't know.
Because you're trying to say 34.5 with a near 10 point favorite is saying that pretty much it's going to be completely one-sided. This is not a 45 or 50 point over-under. It's 34 points. So it's pretty much saying that Buffalo is going to run through them. This is the highest spread of the weekend.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. And I still don't think it's far-fetched, though.
I think it's very far-fetched. I think it's very far-fetched.
Unless Josh Allen just does some Josh Allen kind of things.
Well, he always does that.
I mean, he always does that, but I still don't think, even with that being said, is enough to think that the Steelers are going to win this game. They got no TJ Watt.
I didn't say the Steelers was going to win. We talking spreads.
You talking about spreads? The score.
No. I'm basing it strictly off the spread. 9.5 points, which means you have to win by 10 points.
So you don't think they'll win by 10?
Absolutely not.
You don't think they'll beat the Steelers? They're gonna beat the Steelers at least by 17. Easily. I keep telling you, 10 points is a tough game. If you win this game by 10 points, then Buffalo struggle.
I'm definitely going to clip this. They will not win by 10 points. Definitely not. Steelers, let me tell you something.
They got a good defense.
Mike Tomlin, who already is discussing whether he wants to come back next year, if he wants to take a year off.
Okay.
They're not the Steelers. I know because we made the Steelers look so bad, you've been hung up on that, and you don't want to give them credit for being a good team.
They are a good
TJ
team.
Watt aside, they don't have TJ Watt. They still have veterans. They still have a team that can run the ball. They can commit to running the ball. They have receivers on the outside. And Mason Rudolph has been playing decent.
Yeah.
The Bills ain't world beaters just because they were able to get through. Josh Allen will turn the ball over and give opportunities for the Steelers to take advantage. The Steelers are very opportunistic. They will make lemons. They'll make lemonade out of lemons. They will maximize any mistake that Josh Allen makes 100-fold. So do I think they're going to win? No, I don't think the Steelers will win. But do I think the game is going to be closer than any 10 points? That's disrespectful. And then with the question of Mike Tomlin trying to decide if he wants to play, wants to take a year off, maybe he wants to test the market. There are 7 or 8 coaching vacancy jobs. I think this is just because they lost TJ Watt and because it seems on paper that they should be like a David and Goliath. This is a juggernaut playing the Steelers who just needed help to get in. Steelers are going to make this a game. You can book it. You said 17 points? I can't wait with a 34 and a half over under. They're going to win by 7. So that you fall into the category that Vegas wants them to fall into, that the Steelers ain't going to do nothing. This is not Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett as the quarterback. They're going to.
And so what? Mason Rudolph is Ben Roethlisberger?
No. He doesn't have to be. But he's getting the ball out better than those two, and they're going to lean on the running game. They're going to lean on. I don't know.
Yeah, they got a good running game. They got the 2 backs. I like.
Going to play, but they're going to utilize the tight end. They'll be able to extend drives long enough that just on sheer, even if they have a good field goal kicker, I think that they're going to be able to take a line from you that even if they don't score, they got a good field goal kicker. They're going to be able to keep this game close. What do you say? Because we can get to our score.
I'm going to tell you this. D, you can't game manage in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you got to put up points. You got to make the big throws. You got to make plays in the playoffs. And that's not what the Steelers are going to be. Not with Mason Rudolph. They won their last 3 games, but they beat a depleted Cincinnati team. They beat a reeling Seahawks team, and they beat a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore team. Like they're not a good team. They found ways to win. They've won games, no question about it. Kudos to Tomlin and coaching, but now you're coming into the playoffs. They got a good running game, and I think they'll get some success running the ball. And they do have a decent, they only give up 19 points per game. They give up a lot of yards. So they got a bend, don't break kind of defense, if you will. But they're still kind of in the bottom half of defensive play. And without the pass rusher, TJ Watt, that's a huge loss for them. You got to make plays, and you need playmakers to do that. And they don't really have that. Now you're playing against legitimate teams in the playoffs, and you can't game manage. Rudolph is a game manager, and you can't game manage in the playoffs. This is not week 4 of the season. This is not just do whatever we can to squeak a win out of this. This will be a good victory for us if we can get this win because we got a tougher opponent next week. No, it's one and done. You're playing now the best teams that remain in the league, and this is why we call it the playoffs. And you got to make plays, and they don't have the ability to do that. And I don't think that's gonna happen. And I think you're gonna see Buffalo. I think Buffalo will win, even with Josh Allen maybe throwing a pick or two. He's gonna do something. He's gonna do something that's gonna make you go, what was he thinking? Why did he throw that? I agree. He's gonna do that. But I don't think he's gonna. But it's not gonna be enough where I think he's gonna lose this game against the Steelers because of his play. I don't think he's gonna lose the game. Now, if that happens, that's bad, and it's bad on them. But I'm just saying, I don't think that's gonna be
a tight game. It's gonna be a tight game.
The D is good. The utilizing the run game later. Yeah, you can. Yeah, but I don't know. But you need the quarterback play.
And you already said 17 points. Don't walk it back. Don't.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, at least 17. So I mean, or somewhere. What is 30? So what is 30? I'm going 30. No. Let me. I walk the score back, not what they'll win by. Yeah, I'm going 27-13. 27-13. 27-13. So that's more than 10 points. That's 14 at least.
Okay, cool. Steelers and Bills. That's exactly my score.
And James, you got Buffalo. I mean, you got the Steelers winning this game?
Bills will win 17-10.
Oh, Bills will win 17-10. Okay.
Yeah, I never said the Bills were going to lose. But it's not going to be 10 points. It's going to be a touchdown or less. But you got 7. You went back. You initially said 17, and we got that recorded. And then you wind up settling for a 14.
All right, so give me the field goal. Give me the field goal. God, take it 30. Then just give me the field goal.
No, I don't want to pressure you in it.
I'm saying it won't make a difference. 30-13. I do like Buffalo in this game, though. I do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the game that you've been waiting for. You got your hat propped up. It's high. You got the star. You got the what's that on the wall? You got the sombrero.
The sombrero that somebody gave me. Actually that's a Zeke jersey. My Dion and Emmett, I got to bring those down. And also somebody gave me a Pollard jersey as well. So it's an authentic one, but I'm going to rock that one. I actually won it a couple of shows this season. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. But, yeah, we here. You can't see the full. I'm on a different camera, so I can't.
That's cool. It's good. We don't need to see the full.
You don't need to see that? Don't you want to see that? Okay.
Packers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are 7-point favorites. Over-under is 50 and a half. 50 and a half points. I'll say this. The Packers have a young team. The Packers have a young team. Jordan Love has been playing exceptional.
He has.
But what they're up against is Cowboys' home winning record, right? They have a very, very impressive, 16 in a row?
Yes, it is 16.
They have a very impressive home winning record. So what's at stake is, we know we agree. I mean, you mentioned if Tua is going to get paid, certainly Dak's going to get paid, right? He's going to get an extension, right?
Yeah.
But I think their back is a little more against the wall than Miami's would be. But I say all that to say, the Packers do have an outside chance of winning this game. I do think the Cowboys will ultimately win the game, but not by 7 points. This game is going to be closer than expected.
Okay.
I think Jordan Love is going to really those receivers are going to test Bland. Bland's going to be tested by the double move, especially if Christian Watson plays. Because you already got Jaden Reed. You have some players that can get open in the open field. They can really take the top off. And if Christian Watson, who's been trending to play, I think that they have a phenomenal chance to keep the game close. And I think the game will be solved and won by your Pro Bowl kicker. It will be a 3-point game in my book. What do you say?
Nah, listen, and you don't really hear me say this often, and of course, if you Cowboy Nation, y'all know how this goes. Sometimes, with the Cowboys, we've been known to wet the bed, and it happens. But I believe that it won't be this week. Okay, Dallas is going to pound them out. We're going to pound them out. We're gonna at least put 40 up on this defense. This defense is bad. It's one of the worst defenses in the league. They got a little bit of pass rush there. Yes, that's right, Jordan. And that's it, Jordan. Yep. And that's the face I'm making that Jordan would make when someone says, we're going to stop you, Michael, tonight. You saw that face? Well, that's the face I'm making for those who want to say that the Packers are going to make this interesting. Look, let me put it, let me, before I get ahead of myself, because really I think Dallas is just going to do his thing in this game. We got to stop Aaron Jones. He's had much success against us. He's had 3 straight games in a row of 100 yards. Hasn't played a lot this season because of injuries, but he's fresh. He's got good legs. He's back, and he has hurt the Cowboys. He's a local kid from
Texas,
Dallas.
Yeah.
He's from Texas. So, he's going to come. He's going to show. He's had a lot of AT&T. You could almost say he owns AT&T Stadium. But that won't be the case because he had the assistance of one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game during that time. Love is a good quarterback. I like we talked about C.J. Stroud. Good story. Great quarterback. He is their future for that team. No question about it. Plays really well. He's been balling, but he has not seen a defense like ours. Dan Quinn is coming. When he gets under pressure, and especially when he has to roll out, his percentages and his numbers do not look good on the rollout. Now, Jordan can make Jordan Love can make every throw. He's good. He has an arm. He can throw off the back foot. He can throw. But when you get him moving out that pocket, it's going to be a problem. If we neutralize the run, like we did against Miami, like we did against Detroit, we can neutralize the running game from Jones. Because here's the thing. This team, the Packers that is, they're not going to commit to the run the way Buffalo did. They're not going to let Jordan only get like 13 attempts. They're going to want to throw the ball. Reed is really their man. Watson has been nothing this year because he only played in 8 games. He hasn't played 9 games, actually. He's been hurt all year. He only got about 28 receptions this year. He's not even really a factor in their offense right now. They're looking at Reed. Reed is their man. That's their dude. That's who is him and Downs and Wicks. Wicks has been a really good receiver for them. So that's going to be the crux of who they're going to be looking to get the ball to. Dallas playing man-to-man. We're still the best man-to-man coverage team in the league. And we're going to bring the pressure. And we're going to drop back a little bit, too. We can still get to them with 4-man rush. And we don't even need to really even bring a blitz and heavy blitz packages against Love. Dallas is going to rock this defense. They have not seen an offense like ours. Okay? They haven't seen an offense like ours. And they have not seen a defense like ours. So, they beat the Bears. They beat, let me just real quick, and I'm gone. I'm out, D. Okay. Their last 3 wins. And guess what, D? Their last 3 wins came against Carolina. You know how many points Carolina put up on that defense? 30 points. Carolina couldn't buy a field goal last week against Tampa Bay. They put up the Carolina Panthers put up 30 points on that defense. What do you think? CeeDee Lamb, it would only be that he doesn't get 400 yards receiving in this game. Okay? Okay? They beat Minnesota. Minnesota does not have a good defense, and they have no quarterback. Even though Mullins actually threw some good yards there, but they beat a Minnesota team. Minnesota is very average, not really much of anything, and they beat Chicago. Okay, 17-9. All right, are they playing good? Yes, they are. Are they a good team? Yes, they are. Do they belong here? Yes, they do. They're playing with house money. Dallas cannot lose this game, as we know. but Dallas must be able to put it on. This just sounds like wishful thinking to me. A.J. Dillon should have got rid of the stinger, and Jones is raring to go. Our run defense, no, not really, James. We play since you only run. Think about this: the run. Who gashed us in the run this year? Only Buffalo and Arizona. That's it. Nobody else gashed us in the run this year. We shut down everybody in the run. Don't listen to the national media hype and all that. Dallas can still stop the run. We can stop the run, especially now that we moving Micah off ball. All right, and we got him now coming off ball, and then we got what's his name? I'm going black. Not Evan. Evans is gone. I can't remember. Jesus. Clark is playing better now. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he's reading and reacting a little bit better. And now we got Dono is now coming up and helping and support Ron Donovan Wilson. So Quinn is making adjustments. He's making adjustments because our two best big guys that he was starting the year with got hurt with DeMario Overshown and then of course LVE. But don't believe the hype because we shut down Miami's run and we shut down Detroit's run, and they got better backs than what Green Bay has. Okay. But you keep missing about the defense. Aaron Jones is not covering CeeDee Lamb, okay? That defense it's like playing the Eagles. They got no defense. Their defense is bad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's the what eye test. So the eye test is then if you got the eye test, you'll know. You're not running side to side on Dallas. You're not running side to side on Dallas. And the only way you can really beat Dallas in that sense, if you could run the ball, is you got to have a lead. If you're not having a lead, what good is running the ball when we get out there, boom, 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 we down the field, we scoring. At some point, you're going to have to throw the ball. And that's when you play into the strength of the Dallas defense, which is the pass rush. So unless you got the lead, you ain't winning it. So that's that. You ain't running it like that. You're going to run the ball, but you're not going to run it like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Who do you think, or who do you perceive out of the two teams is more of a one-dimensional team? The Cowboys or the Packers?
Packers have the worst run defense. One of the worst. They like one of the last in the run. So I think Pollard.
One-dimensional team.
No, we're not a one-dimensional team. Dallas has ran the ball
really
well, but we're not one-dimensional. We're not like it's not like the run game is not our strength, but that doesn't mean that we're completely one-dimensional. It's not like what we were when we played y'all last year in the second half. After Pollard broke his leg, we had no backs really. Steve and Zeke couldn't give you anything, so that was definitely not going to work. We had to become one-dimensional. That was the only reason why. Dallas, no, we don't run the ball well this year. We have not. I'll admit that. No doubt about that. But Pollard can still run the ball, okay? And he did get 1,000 yards for the season. I think that's a big deal because you can average 65 yards a game and get 1,000 yards. That's not a big deal. But we can still run the ball and be effective with one. We did it against Detroit. Pollard ran well against Detroit. He ran well against Detroit.
So can I just want to, before we get to his score, you had referenced Miami and Detroit. What was the score? What was the final score of the Miami game?
For Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas and Miami.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Hold on. I'll pull it up. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so the Miami game, we lost that game 22-20. 22-20. Yeah, we lost.
So I just wanted you to get to the fact that you guys lost.
Yeah, so
and the Detroit game, right?
Yeah.
It was a bad call, a foolish call away. So you're referencing that and you're standing on that as if that is proof that your team has arrived.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I'm talking about the running game. We were talking about the running game. I'm saying we ran the ball well in those games. I'm not talking about the outcome of the game. And you
lost one and you should have lost both of them. Is what I'm saying. Your team.
I mean,
except that
we don't know
what
happened.
More one-dimensional. They're a highly efficient one-dimensional team. They rely heavily on the pass. What do you think happens? What do you think happens if, knock on wood, CeeDee doesn't have a great game, or they figure out a way to bracket CeeDee? I won't say injury. They figure out a way of bracketing or taking CeeDee Lamb away. What happens to your offense?
We got Ferguson, we got Cooks, and we could still run the ball against that Packers defense. The Packers don't have a good run defense. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. So the fact of the matter is, even if CeeDee has a mediocre game, we can still win that game. We can still beat them.
Okay.
So it doesn't.
But you,
this team we can
started
beat.
it off saying we're going to blow them out.
We are. We're going to blow them out.
And I've never really heard you say
points.
they're going to blow a team out. So this confidence comes from what? What have you shown?
We have the fifth best defense in the league. The Green Bay Packers haven't played anybody defensively. They didn't play anybody. Who have they beat in the team? Heck, they even lost to the Giants this year, but they haven't beat any good defensive teams. They haven't arrived against a good defensive team. You're not beating Dallas. You're not. That defense is not going to. That defense is not going to prevail against our offense. It's not going to happen. So even with that speculation, what if they can't? They have nobody in their coverage that can handle CD, and they start putting CD in the slot. They have nothing. They are another version of the Eagles in their back end.
I think Alexander is a pretty good. He can lock down defenders.
He ain't locking down CD. He's not. No, he's a good corner. He's a good corner. He is, but he's not locking down CD. He's not locking down CD. That's not happening. And again, the Packers, a good team, good young team, good young receiving core, like you said, but they are still outmatched against Dallas. They just don't have the defense because that defense is bad, D. That defense is bad. I know we haven't watched a lot of Green Bay games, but if you look at them statistically, and numbers don't lie, right? You could factor in, okay, maybe they didn't have a guy here, maybe they have a guy there. But when you look at the body of work that they've put out this year, this team has not been good defensively. They just have
numbers don't lie. I like that.
And they give up 128 yards.
I'll keep that in mind. Numbers don't lie. Okay, so I'm ready for a score. This is a blowout. So I don't want to hear any listen.
I'm going with a
blowout. I want a blowout score from you. Since you started off, we're gonna blow them out.
Right. And if we have the 8th best schedule there, James, and that only supports my point even that much more. You understand what I'm saying? So we've beaten some good teams this year. We lost to some good teams this year, but that's the thing you got to put in context. So when we play the Packers, who have not played a lot of good teams this year, they've lost to some bad teams this year. They're playing good nevertheless, but you got to put that team in context. They're a young team. They're still developing. So their wins and losses, you can't get too excited over their wins. And then their losses is part of what they're doing as far as them growing as a team because they're still young. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
I'm ready for the score, sir.
You ready for the score, sir? That's 40. I'm going 40. Dallas put up 40 points in this game. All right. 41-22 Dallas.
Okay, 41-22. I have the game a lot closer.
And then
Dallas 27. Dallas 27, Packers 24.
Wow.
They win by a field goal.
Okay.
They win by a field goal.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Rams and the Lions. Now, talk about blowouts. This is the blowout for me this week. The Lions, Dan Campbell played ball. And he is going to be rewarded for playing ball. He did what was right in the sight of the NFL and in the sight of Jerry Jones. I'm telling you. So Matthew Stafford and the Rams, who are hot, who are coming back. Matthew Stafford, his wife, everyone is coming back home, right? Coming back to Detroit. He spent the majority of his career in Detroit, has put up some unbelievable numbers. Jared Goff, who the Rams kicked to the curb, said Matthew Stafford. And they won that year, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, I go back to week 17. Dan Campbell played ball. He did what needed to be done in order for the seeding to fall the way it did. And he will be rewarded for it. They will beat the Rams. And now this is my blowout of the week. Detroit is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. I like Detroit to roll. I like them to really apply pressure because we thank you for your services. We thank you for what you did. but you didn't win a Super Bowl with us. And now that you're on the beach and enjoying and in Malibu, and you're enjoying the California life, and you get a Super Bowl the first year you go there, you think blue collar backbone of America cares about that? They're going to get some get back. And I like Detroit to roll. Actually, I think Detroit is going to roll. The Rams have not seen this coming, and they're not going to see it coming. Everyone gives the Rams, because pretty much the home field gets 3 points. So pretty much they're saying that this game is really close. Even though Detroit has played the way they have played the entire season, they have phenomenal weapons. And granted, their defense is good. Granted, the Rams have a good run game. You have the emergence of, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, and Stafford has been playing really well. Of course, you have Aaron Donald on the defense. But I think that Detroit is going to prove once and for all that, yes, we thank you for your services, Matthew Stafford, but it's Jared Goff's time now. What do you say?
Nah, I respectfully disagree. The Rams are going to win this game. The Rams are going to win this game. And just here's why. Again, the Detroit has no secondary. They got some good safeties, but their corners are suspect. They don't have good corners. And that's why you saw even what Dallas did to them. And they actually give up 247 yards in the air a game. In fact, they give up 20 more yards a game than the Packers do. Puka and Coop, them dudes is going to eat. And Stafford along with him and McVay, you know what the game plans are going to be for them. And you already mentioned, which is true, they got a good running game. So they're going to, and Detroit is good against the run, but their corners. The corners are they're not it. And they have been getting beat all year long. If there's any weakness to Detroit in their game, it's in the secondary. And that's where you're going to see the problems. And Stafford, who knows that stadium, I don't care if they can boo on them, don't matter. That's home. He's still going to go in there and he's going to do his thing. And McVay is going to have a system plan. And that's what they're going to do. Let me tell you something. It's nice that you gritty, you blue collar, and, we, Motown, and we steel, and we, and industrial, and we... That none of that translates to the field. Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. It's good as you biting knees and you whatever you do, punch them in the mouth and you're gonna do all this stuff. That's all good. That's all great. But it's playoff time now, and it's playoff time against a team that has won already. McVay has got cachet and he's got stock at this time of the year. All right. He's proven it, and this team is and they're ranked. Hold on 1 second. I'll just tell you this real quick. Let me just look at this real fast, okay? When you look at them offensively, the Rams, that is, okay? The Rams have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're the 8th best offense in the league, and they're averaging 24 points a game. That's a lot of points per game. Now, this was a team that started out bad. This was a team that I did not want to even see. And we blew the brakes off this team. We scored over 40 on this Ram team in Dallas. But this is not that same team. This is a whole different team. They got good young players that have been coached up on the defense. These guys can ball. They swarming. Listen, Detroit better be careful. This game almost really, in my opinion, if anything, this would have been a pick'em. I don't know if they even do pick'ems anymore, but that's how I used to see back when I was a kid. They still do pick'ems. You probably know better than me, Pete. But I'm going with the Rams. Yeah. So anyway, all right, I'm done. I know we got a lot more to cover. I know time is running short. Go ahead. The score is Rams. I got the Rams winning this game 33-28. 33-28.
Okay, I have the Lions winning this game 35-21. 35-21. Just keep in mind, Dan Campbell played ball week 17. He is going to be rewarded for that.
For what? For doing what? For getting Laporta
for the bonehead call to give you guys the number 2 seed.
So who's going to reward him for making a bonehead play? Who's rewarding him? I don't understand.
The NFL is going to reward him. The NFL is going to reward him.
Oh, the NFL. Also, it's this conspiracy thing you're mentioning.
No, they're going to win. They're going to win. They had an opportunity to win the #1 seed. This is what I don't think you get.
Yeah,
they have a #1. They had an opportunity to win the #1 seed. They made a bonehead decision, several of them. Coaching, mistake, blunder after blunder. And as a result, you benefited from it. And the NFL is going to reward.
Well, why? But why don't you give Dallas credit for stopping it? I mean, 3 times they tried in that red zone to go for the extra point, and Dallas.
Who would do that, Rod?
We gave them another opportunity again, and we stopped them. I mean, we don't get credit for that. Look, 3 times that can go the other way around. Detroit's a very good offensive team. You had 3 opportunities, right? So y'all got the penalty in the first one, the Detroit Lions, and then Michael went off sides. So you had another opportunity, so you still couldn't punch it in because you got those yards right back after Michael went off sides. So you came right back to where you started from on the first attempt.
But part of the going for 2, it's not a complete element of surprise. What's up, Scrap? It's not a complete element of surprise. But when you give them 3 consecutive plays to stop the 2-point conversion, it's already not a high percentage move in the first place. It's not as high as kicking the extra point. When you give a team 3 consecutive chances to stop you, you're setting yourself up for failure.
But if you give a team 3, but if a team takes 3 opportunities to score, should they not still be able to score? Doesn't the probability to score go higher for the offense? They did score.
And then there was a question about 70 and 68.
Okay, so they had 2 more opportunities to score. There was an interception on the play with Micah, so that was an interception. So they still had an opportunity to score then. They got the yards back, and then you run a play in the flat. Makes no sense. You throw the ball short of the goal line. That's the dumminess of Detroit. And you said it earlier. They get cute, these coaches. That was dumb. But I don't think this has anything to do with them being rewarded.
I think it does. I think it does.
So that's why you think Detroit will win, because of the NFL's going to throw them a bone?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do.
Before we move on, D, just one quick question.
Sure.
If the 49ers win, will it be because of a conspiracy? If the 49ers win the Super Bowl? Or does this only apply to other teams?
No. What I'm saying is, are they playing this week?
No, they're not.
Okay, so let's talk about it when we get there.
Okay, all right, okay.
Because they're on a bye, so we're going to rest talking about.
All right, we're going to rest
the NFC champs right now.
They got a bye week even on discussions.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree.
We got a bye week on discussion. We don't even have to talk. They're resting. They're getting prepared for the stretch run. They are right now. The 49ers are making provisions for their families, setting up lodging for Vegas. That's their focus.
Wow.
So let's not talk about them right now.
Okay.
Last but not least, the Eagles. Monday, MLK.
That came in just in time.
Just in time for the Eagles versus Bucks.
Yeah.
Philly, 3-point favorites, over under 43.5. Jalen Hurts, his finger. I don't know what his finger is going to be doing. It doesn't look like. I don't know if they're going to have Devontae Smith. I don't know if they're going to have A.J. Brown. But one thing that they do have that they can depend on and try to make the most of it is a run game. And if I was them, I would do some almost college-like ways or plays. I would bring in Mariota. I believe Mariota is their backup quarterback. I would bring in Mariota for some certain plays. I would bring Jalen Hurts in. I would utilize the run game. There would be a lot of called quarterback runs. Just get the ball down the field. Tush, push, all the way, long, prolonged drives. You need to eat up the clock. You need to eat up time of possession, especially if you're now dependent on Quiz Watkins and those further down the trough receivers to bail you out. I think you need to totally lean on the run game. What do you say?
No, I agree. You need to. And because Jalen is questionable, but he'll play. A.J. Brown is questionable too. He'll play. Scrap might have a little more insight on that from the local media in reference to that because, he was still hurt from last week. So they're coming in banged up. I think Smith is playing, but he's coming in banged up. And then the throwing hand, right, of Jalen Hurts. So I think you gotta, and I think he even said earlier this week and Scrap was beefing about this in our chat, if you recall, playing Hurts even after he got hurt. They brought him back out with the bent up finger, which didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And even Jalen Hurts later said it wasn't, probably wasn't the wisest thing to do.
And they asked him, did he throw the ball since he got injured? And he said no.
No, he hasn't. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Not cool at all. Not cool at all. So I think you got to run the ball. You can have some success on Tampa, they only give up 95 yards a game on the ground, so which isn't bad. That's actually pretty good. But they give up nearly 250 in the air, which is a lot of yards in the air. But the way that the offense has been looking for Philly and just how unimaginative it's been, you don't even know if they can even muster up probably 200 yards of air yardage. You know what I'm saying? Just by the way they're playing. So I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I got Tampa winning this game, and really, it's really by default because I just honestly feel like we said in the last segment. I just think this team is broken internally, and they want to get out of this season. I really do. I think they want to get out of this season, and I think you're going to hear a lot of stuff coming out of Philly and a lot of frustration that was held during the season and had not come out the way it wanted to. So I think this team is they're going to fold. They're going to just lay down and die in this game. Honestly, that's just what I feel.
So you think Nick Sirianni is on the hottest of seats?
I don't think he is, but there's a lot of question about Sirianni though. And I think he might get one more year. This is proof that he can't win without his lieutenants. Both his OC and DC go, and you look this bad. And like you say, the Niners, after the Niner beatdown, they haven't been the same. I don't know what's happened to them, but this team has not looked the same, not played the same. They're imploded. They're fragmented. There's a lot wrong with this team. So, yeah.
All right. So okay. You have the Bucks winning. I do have the Eagles. Winning. I do have the Eagles winning this game.
You got the Eagles winning this game? Okay.
So what says you on the score?
This game here, I've got them winning. It's going to be in that secondary. Good Godwin and Evans is going to have about 600,000 yards apiece in the air. So yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, I'm going Bucks 38. It's going to be 38. It's going to be a romp, actually. Yeah, I'm going 38-16.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a romp.
So let me ask you this. You do know that Baker Mayfield is the quarterback for Tampa Bay, right? I mean, he's been looking good. They've been playing, but you do know that he's the quarterback for Tampa Bay, right?
And can I give a retort to that?
Sure.
And you do know what the Eagles secondary is like, right?
I'm suggesting that he won't have the time to get the ball to Godwin and Mike Evans.
Why would he not have time?
I think they're going to apply pressure. I mean, you don't think that at least the Eagles?
Well, if you apply pressure, then what are you going? I mean, unless they're going to drop in, but whether they drop in a zone or they play man to man, which God forbid they do. Listen, Baker Mayfield is good enough to get to hots, and Godwin and Evans and even their tight end can get open. I mean, you can blitz him. If he gets the ball out and gets to his hots, and you got skilled receivers like what you have,
I don't think those plays will be able to develop. I think Baker is going to solely lean on Rachaad White. He's going to do a lot of dump offs. I think the Eagles can apply pressure to Baker, and all he's doing is an extension of the run game, dumping it off to Rachaad.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But Baker also can turn the ball over. He can take some of those. He's one of those players that can, when he plays well, but also he can start getting too hot doggish, try to force something down, try to look too good, want to put the nail in the coffin for the Eagles, who are just at the Super Bowl, and they'll wind up losing. What do you say? You don't think I mean, because we're giving Baker Mayfield way too much credit for what he's doing.
If Tyron Taylor and again, that secondary is bad, D. That it doesn't matter who's back there. That secondary is bad. They can't cover a bed with a bed sheet. They can't cover. They can't stop a stop sign, and a stop sign don't even move. They can't stop them. That defense, and Sidney Brown is out. So you know they got nothing. There's nothing there. They can't stop anybody. So it don't even matter what the offense for the Eagles do. It doesn't matter. You got two receivers like that, and Baker Mayfield is good enough. Trust me, he's more than enough. Every 7 yards to score. So I don't think.
And just so we go back to this really quick, you have the Rams winning, right? So that means they would play you guys, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think that's how it, because you guys end up playing the lower seed of the teams that win.
We play whoever the lowest seed, and we don't it doesn't make us any never mind who we play.
Yeah.
Lowest seed.
But we still get that home game though, so that's it. We got 2 home games, and that's the key. So we got to play the Rams. At least it'll be in the second round, and it'll be.
I mean, James has you guys losing, so
James got us. Who? The Cowboys losing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
James is a Cowboy hater. Listen, he's a 49er fan. He hates the Cowboys.
What does that have? No. I picked
James
the Cowboys
don't like
to
the
win.
Cowboys.
I picked the Cowboys to win, so it's not because
no, I mean that's you.
Someone
But
is a
I don't think
fan
James is as objective as you are when it comes to the Niners. You know what I'm saying? And the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys. He feeling that, right, James? Come on, talk back to us, James. James, no.
Okay, so you have the Bucks winning 38-16. That's
Yeah, because the Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna. I don't think the Eagles want to play anymore. I think that they don't want to play. I think they want to go home. They got vacation plans.
Eagles.
Look at James. He got bucked 27-10. So yeah, he did no different than my take. It's a blowout.
I have the Eagles 24. The Bucks 21.
See?
Eagles win.
What did you say your score was, Donald?
24-21 Eagles.
Eagles. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's
Cowboys. All right. Well, let's jump. I know, boy.
All right. So
go ahead.
We're going to. I think we'll just jump to Nick Saban.
Okay.
To Nick Saban.
Okay.
Well, we know that there's a ton of coaching vacancies. We know Jared Mayo just got the New England job, youngest African American coach. We'll discuss that on our next show.
Yes.
But we just want to discuss before we.
I got a lot to say about Belichick on the next show, so go ahead. Yeah.
We'll discuss Nick Saban. Nick Saban, 17 years as the Alabama head coach.
Right.
Abruptly retired. He said he was retiring. He has a total of 7 national championships, 1 with LSU, 6 with Alabama, and they have dominated arguably the most decorated coach, well, not arguably, the most decorated coach in college football.
Yes.
But I would like to say this.
Okay.
My take on Nick Saban, and I know a lot of Alabama fans, people that love, Crimson Tide and Roll Tide.
Right.
Nick Saban could no longer be the big fish in the small pond. NIL changed his life.
Yep.
Because the direct pipeline to the NFL was through Alabama.
Yep.
But now that people could say, you know what? I can get to the NFL because if I'm good enough, I'm good enough.
Yep.
I don't need to be on TV every game.
Correct.
But if I'm good enough, I can get to the NFL.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I'm going to get this S-Class Mercedes.
Exactly.
I'm going to get a couple of $100,000 in the bank, maybe a couple of mil. I don't need Nick Saban anymore.
Nope.
And Nick Saban, to me, is the perfect example of someone that is unwilling to change.
Correct.
Unwilling to conform and move into the new realm. Because if you're a great coach, I look at coaches like if you're a great coach, you should be able to coach and adapt to any era.
I agree.
But if something as small as NIL, that the players get their shot, because there was writing on the wall that Nick Saban wasn't going to jive with players now having power.
He said as much. Yeah.
He was one of the main
he said it.
opposers of NIL because what does NIL do?
Yes,
it makes it a level playing field for the players. They now have choices to decide. Yeah, Alabama's great, Alabama's on TV. They're always in it. But what about me? I'm giving my blood, sweat, and tears for this university, and all I get is just to wear. And they're paying you astronomical money. But when the players are looking for money, you have a problem with it.
Right.
And so when you think about Harbaugh in Michigan and a coach that is, player friendly and is for the players to make money, and that they're champions. Shout out to Michigan for winning the national championship.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's days were numbered once the NIL kicked in.
Yep.
Because he is a fossil in his mentality.
Yes,
he wanted to abuse and use the fact that we're giving you the platform. The platform should be enough. But meanwhile, these players are helping you win the hardware, get those contracts, and be all but a god, small g, in Alabama and in the South.
Correct.
But no longer. So I think it's not about him being 72. It's not about him because they were still, even with Milroe, the quarterback, they were still competitive. They were still the top 5 team in the country. And the chances with them expanding the playoff schedule with 12 teams, they would be in it again. He just doesn't want to compete with other people. He took his career, i.e. a ball, and left. He said, it's my way or the highway. So no tears for Nick Saban. You had a good career, but you couldn't make it at this level. What do you say?
Don, my brother, you preach that thing, sir. Amen corners are real loud this morning and this afternoon, wherever you might be in the country, because that was my exact take. I've never been a Nick Saban fan at all. I feel he's smug. I feel he has, there's some mentality to him that I feel is, let's just say it has some shades.
He has some total line in him.
Yeah, definitely some total line in him. No question. And yeah, that's, as we would say, he got some total line in him. And that's it. He took his ball in his career, as you metaphorically stated, because, again, he knew that he could not compete anymore. NIL, transfer portal, the whole recruiting landscape changed, and he was no longer going to be the top dog anymore. And I want to say something real quick. Shady from Speak, who I just think is an idiot. I'm sorry. That dude just has no brain cells at all. He basically was comparing, because he was dogging Belichick. And I agree with some things he said with Belichick. And they were making comparisons with him and Nick Saban. But he says, Saban was able to every year do it with different guys. Once Brady left, Belichick couldn't do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But Nick Saban, year after year after year. Well, idiot, of course.
How many players?
If you're getting all the great players throughout the country, of course. You
can handpick them. You can handpick those players.
Exactly. So what you're saying makes no sense. It's harder to build a team in the NFL than it was for Alabama to build a team in the SEC or the NCAA. They had all the best players.
It's the equivalent of getting 20 first-round picks every year.
Exactly. Every year.
As opposed to being bad enough to get first-round or lottery picks and maximizing. You're going to people's living room and talking to them. 5-star, you're getting all 5-star recruits.
And 5-star recruits that ain't probably going to start until their sophomore junior year. So your depth is guys who could start and be number 1 guys in other D1 schools. So, please. Saban, he did what he did in Miami. I never forgave him for that. Said I'll never leave. He left. You know why? Because he couldn't compete at that level, and again, was not going to be able to groom guys up. You don't really have to coach guys up. I'm not going to say he's not a good coach, but I am going to say that he benefited because now he did establish a culture where people want to come there and play, right? So I'm not going to take away what he built in terms of developing a program that made guys want to come, right? But at some point, once he kind of got that thing moving in action, it was easy going from that point on. And he's mad now that he can't do that any longer. So that, hey, he's going to walk away and he's going to leave, because then his legacy will be tarnished, because that means he'll either lose in the first round of the playoffs or in a natty, and he's not going to get it. And now he goes from 6 to now he's gonna start losing. He'll be 500 when it come to natty competition, and that he can't have. That would definitely have tarnished his legacy. So yeah, at least Bill don't mind taking some L's. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 losing seasons since Brady left. So, it is what it is, but it didn't diminish what he accomplished. But I got a lot to say about Billy Boy when we come back to our next segment for sure.
And I just want to say one thing. One thing I was excited about, shout out to Michigan Wolverines for winning the national championship.
Yep.
I felt good about it. Although I thought Washington was going to have a better showing, one thing that I took away from it was that both Harbaugh brothers will not. Confetti won't be coming down on both of them. So when we do see the Ravens in the Super Bowl, one of your brothers already got it. It is destined. I saw that and I said yes. Because had Jim lost...
Yeah, have 2 Harbaughs in 1 year, huh?
No, they can't. You already hugged your father and picked him up in the air and shook him.
No double portion for them. Right.
It's not going to be a double portion. No.
That's it.
So I was excited about that because I said, you know what? Had Michigan lost, I would have said, oh man, the Ravens gone. They're going to
I tell you, America, we
not going to happen.
We got to deal with Don's conspiracies, man. I'm telling you.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man.
There
is a correlation, and we'll talk about it. They had the Harbaugh Bowl. It was the Ravens and the 49ers.
Right.
Jim lost, right? John won, right?
Right.
And now we're coming full circle where both of them have potential, or we think. Jim already won. I think he's done everything. He's going to move on to the NFL.
Yeah, he is.
And I think John is going to get to the Super Bowl, but the 49ers, everything comes full circle, and we win in the Super Bowl. Really quick, I just want to ask you one question, and then we're going to close it out.
Okay.
Out of the vacancies, and we know there's going to be more, right? There was 8. 1 got filled overnight with the New England Patriots. What is the most attractive vacancy as you see it today?
I still think the Chargers, because they have a quarterback. Simple as that. You still got to go with the quarterback. In my opinion, I still think the Chargers is the place you want to be. If you're depending upon where you are and how much you want to develop and what your long-term vision is for a team, it's hard to get a good quarterback. And the other vacancies just don't have it. Now, you could draft a good quarterback with Atlanta, because I think they got the 4th pick or something like that. They're a top 5 pick, so they may be able to walk away some. So that job may not be too bad. Because the Falcons actually got a pretty decent team in the end of the thing. They just don't have a quarterback. So, but I still say Herbert, you can do something there. So to me, that's what I would say.
Okay, for me, the most attractive vacancy is the Seattle Seahawks. That team they drafted really, really well.
Yeah, they got some young
on our next show,
yeah.
They got some run game,
talk about that.
defense, receivers. They drafted extremely well. So I think that's the most attractive. Everyone's going to say the Chargers, and Justin Herbert is great. We think he's great, but what has he really proven so far? Has he really proven anything that he can win?
Well,
yes, they deal with injuries. Mike Williams, and
he just needs to get the right coach.
I mean, Stanley was a defensive coach.
Stanley was not it. Yeah,
Stanley,
it wasn't it.
Yeah, was a defensive coach. So we'll see what happens if we get a mind like Harbaugh in that system, and they kind of take to him what can happen.
Right.
But in any case, good show, Rod.
Always, D. I appreciate you, bro,
for joining us. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Always.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music.
IA with the fire.
We appreciate everyone for joining us. If you like these takes, please leave a comment. Once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page.
Yes.
We appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We're trying to put out some great content for you guys to enjoy. This weekend's going to be really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Until next time, peace.